Good morning, everyone. We're all doing well on this Wednesday morning. I only just fucking walked up, didn't I? I only just woken up, but this is Formula 1 pre-season testing 2024, day 1 morning setting live stream Watchalong. Obviously, I only just woken up, and by Easter got around 3 hours. We got around 3 hours of this Watchalong, so we'll be live till 11 o'clock in the morning. But as it stands, it's showers occurred. In terms of testing so far, it's showers occurred in thirds for 1:33.658. Fernando Alonso in second with 1:33.8. Tsunoda in third, 1:34.834. Bottas in fourth, 1:35.3. Manson fifth, 1:35.6. Verstappen, the world champion, in sixth with 1:35.9. Ocon seventh, 1:36.8. And George Russell with a 1:37.3. And ISL1 still yet to set a time, but we're with ISL1 now. And he does 4 fastest in testing this morning setting. So, but yeah, as you can tell, I do look shattered. I do look shattered. Obviously, I think I have missed, an hour of it. So, but I'm here now. Anyways. So, I think it's mainly done by the Stutson way in the comments, isn't it? Done made a Stutson in comments. So obviously you can see the usual paint, especially what you get in Tetson, where obviously you see the paint on the front wing off the, I think it's off the Williams, it's off the Williams. Bit unusual, the orange paint, but obviously they did the paint, obviously the paint normally appears in Tetson, doesn't it? So and I think it's ISL1, isn't it? That's currently on the screen now. I mean, it's hard to tell, isn't it? It's hard to tell with Tetson. Does Tetson change your season predictions? Potentially, it could potentially change your season predictions. Potentially. But obviously it's pre-season testing, so it's not going to be like qualifying and all that, because it could. I mean, this could be boring for some people. But I just thought I may as well do it. Just thought I'll do the watch on. Same with tomorrow as well. As I saw you the Williams Dulwich. So we've had 8 drivers so far. George Russell still yet to set the lap time. So I think for this morning session, we get 10 drivers, don't we, for this morning, and then the other 10 will drive in the afternoon session of testing. So I think it's going to be Sainz, Hamilton, Hulkenberg, Joe, Stroll, Perez, Dadsey, Norris, Ricciardo, Sargent, and I think they're going to be the drivers who are going to be driving in the afternoon session of testing, as he comes George Russell in the Mercedes. In a very nice looking Mercedes, you have to say. Like, what they've done with the EV is like silver and black combined. As George Russell in sector 1 does 1 second behind Charles Leclerc. in terms of sector 1. But obviously, I wouldn't take pre-season seriously, though, in my opinion. Yeah, for example, Max Verstappen being 7th, that ain't gonna happen till the end of the season. Till the start of the season and till the end of the season. Let's be real. Some drivers will probably be sandbagging, to be honest with you. I think the only thing good about Tetson is obviously getting your car on basically on the track, isn't it? Getting your car on the track. And it's like a preparation, isn't it, for 1 week to go, where the season does actually start in Bahrain. As there's Toto Wolff. I didn't notice that, on the, I think it was on the steering wheel. But it's on the steering wheel at Mercedes, you get a WhatsApp button on the steering wheel. From what I saw on the internet, so I think they kept the WhatsApp button down for obviously the team radio. As we see the beautiful looking featured hats up of Yuki Tsunoda saying wind is 20 kph headwind turn 1. So as we mentioned before, headwind into turn 1. As they say on Yuki Tsunoda's team radio. And Yuki Tsunoda, to be fair, I do like that featured hats up car this year. Different colours as well. And it brings you back to that old Toro Rosso, doesn't it? Good morning, Sean. Hope you're well. But to face a Tata car, to face a Tata RB car, it brings you back to that the good old Toro Rosso days, doesn't it? It's done back to that old Toro Rosso colour, as Alex Albon does go into third, above Yuki Tsunoda. So we've got 2 hours and 45 minutes of this watch on as well. But then I think this stream will probably be more like a Q&A where as Bottas, as Valtteri Bottas in the stacked F1 Sauber does third above Albon and Tsunoda. I do think Sauber might do well in Tetson because they always seem to do well when it doesn't matter. Qualifying, Sauber and Haas, to be fair, do seem to do well in qualifying, especially that season. So maybe watch out for Sauber in Tetson. Because I think there'll be plenty of drivers who will be sandbagging, in my opinion. As he comes to Yuki Tsunoda. And plus my season predictions are not really done be judged on this way. On yes, there's some surprise maybe in Tetson. And that could may change it, but yeah, my season predictions will be coming on Friday or Saturday. To be honest with you, so I'm just trying to hold my all in. I'm shattered. I can't lie though, it is beautiful that face attacks off RB car, isn't it? It's like gone back to the Toro Rosso. Oh, God. Oh. I hope not done be doing this or the whole bloody stream, gnawing my head off. But yeah, I just thought it'd be more of a discussion me in the comments, because I'm not done be doing this all the time, like keeping you up to date with the standings. So feel free to state your questions in as well in comments. Feel free to state your questions in comments and I'll answer them. It can be about anything, let's be real. Because this watch-on is about discussing in the comments as well. As Alonso does store quicker than Charles Leclerc in sector 1. It's a personal best for Alonso, but it's not the quickest first sector after all. Do bear in mind that the first two races of the season, they are at season start on Saturday. The first two races of the season, 2 to Ramadan, as Alonso does quickest in the middle sector as well. And now it all comes down to the start finish straight for Alonso. But Alonso just short than Charles Leclerc in the final sector, so he stayed second behind Charles Leclerc in this morning of Texan. So be an interesting season for Fernando. Warn it. It'll be an interesting season for Fernando Alonso because there is rumours of him entering into Mercedes. I can't see him at Mercedes. I really can't. I think that would be a stupid move from Mercedes' part, in my opinion. Because I think Alonso, it's either Aston Martin or nothing, in my opinion. For me, for Fernando Alonso, I just can't see Fernando. Has he earned that Mercedes drive, Fernando Alonso? Not for me. Yes, he's a name. He is a name, but it should be Aston Martin or nothing for Fernando Alonso, in my opinion. Let's see what he does with Aston Martin this season. If it's the same as that season, I think Alonso will definitely leave F1, in my opinion. As now Esteban Ocon comes out in the Alpine, now on the final lap in that Alpine. Esteban Ocon, he's definitely my number one choice to probably replace Hamilton at Mercedes. The strong bond that him and Toto Wolff have. So Esteban Ocon will probably have a good season this season to try and get that Mercedes seat, in my opinion. So what's out probably for Ocon this season? Basically, what's out for drivers who are going to be fighting for the Mercedes seat, the Red Bull seat. So for the Mercedes seat, what's out for Ocon this season? What's out for Antonelli in F2, who's been in for the Mercedes seat, who could be the bold option Toto Wolff is talking about. So what's out for him in F2, Antonelli? And it's gonna be hard for Fernando Alonso, isn't it? It's gonna be hard for him to try and get that Mercedes seat because he's gonna be competing with 7 other drivers 7 or 8 other drivers who are going to be battling for them positions, aren't they? Battling for the top 4 positions in constructors. Obviously, I'm talking about Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren, and Ferrari. And I think Ocon is a strong shout for Mercedes. I think that could be the bold shout for Mercedes as well, Esteban Ocon. I don't think it is bold, personally, because I've been calling Ocon to replace Hamilton for the last couple of years. The strong bond with, as he does wide there, Ocon in the replay, the strong bond with Toto Wolff. For Esteban Ocon, he'd be happy to be number 2, only to George Russell. And that's what Mercedes need. I don't think Mercedes need 2 drivers who want to be number 1. And that is the problem. And that's the problem with George Russell and Fernando Alonso for me, having them in the same team. Those both drivers who want to be number 1. It's the same when they had George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. This is why they're not on the challenge this season. Both drivers want to be number 1. Who knows? I'll happily be 1. I'll happily be 1. But Ocon, I think Ocon would be my choice to replace Hamilton and Mercedes. People be like, it's not really a good choice, really. But people said that about Valtteri Bottas, didn't they? People said that about Bottas, and he had a strong bond. With Toto Wolff, so yeah, I think it'll be Ocon at Mercedes for me, as we now see Fernando Alonso. And we see the stacked F1 car of Valtteri Bottas in that beautiful platinum green of the stacked F1 Sauber. Valtteri Bottas this season, I think Sauber will be down there, Warner. I think they'll be down there in terms of with Hats. In terms of Sauber, Valtteri Bottas, still the driver, definitely. Still a good enough driver to drive an F1. He just won't have the car for me to try and be at least mid-table in that Sauber. By then, I'll happily be 1. Obviously, Audi will be taking over Sauber. I think it's next year or 2026 where Audi will be taking over Sauber. And I think Sauber, for me, will probably have a different lineup next year, in my opinion. Maybe they might keep Bottas. They might keep Bottas around. It all depends on Alex Albon as well. Does Alex Albon need Williams as well? Because he's going to be fighting for a seat this year. Fighting for a seat at a better team, in my opinion. So Bottas could well go to Williams by the end of this season, to probably replace Albon, because I would suspect Albon would get a seat at a better team, in my opinion, by the end of the season. But yeah, the stacked F1 Sauber EV is definitely one of the best EVs this year. Probably up there with Visa Casa and Mercedes, in my opinion. I mean, Ferrari ain't bad. The Ferrari EV is not bad, but the Ferrari EV is just the same old, isn't it? Same old stale red. Let's be real. Predictable. A bit like Red Bull. I mean, Mercedes, it's interesting what Mercedes have done with the front wing. The front wing is more on the ground, isn't it? It's more on the ground. I don't know if that's trying to be an advantage for Mercedes. I've noticed Red Bull with their side pod on the top through of the car. They've got an aggressive one. I think Red Bull got an aggressive car design. To be fair with you, so you see how that pans out for Red Bull. So Charles Leclerc is first. Can Charles Leclerc challenge? Can he challenge for Max Verstappen for the title? As Esteban Ocon's done slow here. but I think he is meant to be done, so. But can this be the year Charles Leclerc challenge Max Verstappen? I don't think so personally. I don't think so personally, because I just think Charles Leclerc he's too mistake prone for me. He's too mistake prone to be chancing to try and win the world title, to try and win titles with Ferrari, in my opinion. Charles Leclerc, I just think he's too mistake prone. I don't think he is good enough to try for a top team. People might say that's a controversial opinion on Charles Leclerc, but he hasn't proved that he is good enough to challenge for the title or to win titles. Yes, he's won races with Ferrari, but he needs to do it consistently, in my opinion. He needs to do it consistently, which is my frustration with Charles Leclerc, because I don't deny there is a talent. There is a talent there in Charles Leclerc. But he's definitely going to be one of these drivers, isn't he, who relies on qualifying form. He'll probably be who knows, he probably might be the qualifying champion, where he'll qualify on pole. But in the race, Ferrari just seems to make too many mistakes in the race, whether it's on track or whether it's the team strategies at Ferrari. So yeah, I'm not trying to give my season predictions away, but I've already said it before. I don't think anyone's chancing Red Bull, in my opinion. Not for the next 2 seasons. Not for the next 2 seasons for me. So it's done me a case of battle the first user again. It probably this season, next season, in F1. To be honest with you. But obviously Charles Leclerc is going to stay at Ferrari due to Fred Vasseur. Fred Vasseur, the team principal, who has worked with Charles Leclerc at Sauber when he was Sauber team principal. And obviously Fred, the team principal at Ferrari, he knows Lewis Hamilton as well from the Duddle days. I think it was in the F2 days where he worked with Lewis Hamilton, didn't he? So that's probably why it makes sense why it's a Charles Leclerc Lewis Hamilton partnership, because Fred Vasseur, the team principal, Ferrari, has worked with both of them. But I'll keep on saying it. I think Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari is an awful move from Ferrari standards, in my opinion. On yesterday, they done number 2 in alongside Lewis Hamilton. I think it's just going to be a car crash, to be honest with you, having Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton on the same team. Because Charles Leclerc has an ego of winning nothing. Lewis Hamilton has an ego of obviously being a 7-time world champion. And it's just not going to work for me, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Again, I'll be happy proving 1, but I just don't think it's going to work, in my opinion. I mean, I'm speaking that it's this season. It's pretty next season that's going to happen. So it would be interesting now how Lewis Hamilton will do in his final season. At Mercedes. Will it galvanise Mercedes? Will it galvanise Lewis Hamilton? I don't know. Who knows? But I do think they can definitely win a race this season, Mercedes. I think this is going to be like 2022 for me, where Mercedes might win a race or 2. But again, when you have 2 drivers who want to be number 1, you're in chancing, in my opinion, as the hat of Kevin Magnussen. The hat of Kevin Magnussen's now out on track. I mean, I don't know what to make of hats. I think their time's probably coming to an end in terms of on the grid, in my opinion, hats. obviously Dunster-Steiner's yet, and we'll see what they do this season with life after Dunster-Steiner for Hearts. But I think Hearts once again are probably going to be the worst team on the grid this season and probably next season as well. And I really don't see Hearts that's none in F1, but at the same time they're probably they are an American team, aren't they? They are an American team, Hearts, and F1 is run by Americans, so they want to keep Hearts in. But this is what I don't get. But why have they rejected Andretti? Why have they rejected Andretti in F1 for this season and next season? It makes no sense when Andretti is run by an American as well. It makes no sense in my opinion. And this is probably why we want Andretti in F1, because Haas are not stepping up to the plate. They're not stepping up to the plate, and they are putting stinting performances in every season. Haas are on with Sauber as well. Do I want Haas to be kicked out? No, I don't, because I want more teams. This is what I think should happen in F1. I want more teams on the grid. You've got 2 empty slots to fill, empty team slots to fill on the grid. We should have more teams. We should have more teams, but we should have less races, in my opinion. I just don't get what's the point of having 24 races, in my opinion. That's just American style for you. That's just Americans for you. They just want to try and make it so it suits them. Most of Qualm 3s this season done being American Qualm 3. You got Miami, you got Las Vegas, and you got Austin, Texas, and you got Cesaro coming to probably F1 as well. It's just run by Americans, isn't it? It's run by Americans, and we still got the sprint races as well. I know they changed the format slightly of the sprint races for this season, which I will go through in my season preview. But again, I don't think we should have sprint races, in my opinion. They just seem to be pointless for me. Obviously, you can store bonus points, but the bonus points are basically for the top 8, really, aren't they? Basically for the top 8. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having practice, qualifying, then the race. But that's just Americans for you. They just want to try and add something, which clearly doesn't work, in my opinion, in sprint races. I know they have sprint races in F2, but I don't see the point in them. If anything, it's even more races, isn't it, for the cards, and it would even be more damage as well for the cards as well, especially in the sprint race, as we saw in Azerbaijan last year as well. Absolutely chaos to have a sprint race in Azerbaijan, in my opinion. But the addition of the sprint race for me, it's gonna stay. There's no point mourning about it. It's gonna stay in F1. Because they're always putting these stupid ideas through and they stick with them, basically. It's like football. We mourn about VAR, and it's done be VAR, let's be real. VAR's there to stay. Esteban Octon's now out for his tar. It's like these sin bins. With football. That's going to stay as well. So, but yeah, there's paint on that Alpine. Obviously, from being out on the track as Max Verstappen, I think it's done be yet another dominant season for me for Max Verstappen. I think Max Verstappen, he's got the bit between his teeth. I think he's going to win probably the next 2. He's going to win the next 2 Drivers' Championships, in my opinion. Max Verstappen. which probably gives away my season prediction for this season. But I think everyone's like that. I think everyone knows Verstappen's probably going to win the next 2 seasons, because this season's just going to be same as the last 2 seasons. Next season's going to be transitional season for the likes of Mercedes and Ferrari, having Hamilton, and Mercedes having a youth driver to replace Hamilton. So you're probably looking at 2026 people for when next we probably don't have a competitive championship, in my opinion. As Alonso is out on track again. But this time he sets the first. Fernando Alonso sets the session's best first sector. Fernando Alonso. It'd be interesting with Aston Martin, won't it? Because Aston Martin actually started well, didn't they? Last season, Aston Martin proved to be Red Bull's closest challenges for the first couple of races last season, and then they just dropped off. And people think McLaren are done be like that. Maybe start off being Mercedes. Start off being Red Bull. I mean, 0 point. It's a session's best middle sector as well for Fernando Alonso. So it does look like, without any mistakes, Fernando Alonso is on the lead this morning session. And he does. He's still yapping though. He's still yapping that final sector, Fernando Alonso. But Fernando Alonso is now fastest overall in this morning session with 1:33.3. But yeah, that's how I was saying. That's what I'm saying. This doesn't be. I would like to see Aston Martin try and keep that consistency of being up there, but I really can't see it. I just think it's just going to be the same old people. I think F1 for me is so predictable this season. It is so predictable. In my opinion, there may be a few changes in terms of driver standings, but it's so predictable. We all know what's going to happen. Yes, we will. As Max Verstappen is out on track. I mean, Alonso is quicker than Charles Leclerc by 0.273. As Max Verstappen now, he's starting in the groove now in this pre-season testing, as he sets a personal best for himself, still shorter than Fernando Alonso, but we're probably going to see Max Verstappen up there as well by the end of this session. As Fernando Alonso gets out the way for Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen sets some bets, middle sector of this pre-season testing, of this morning session. And Max Verstappen does cricket. And Max Verstappen does cricket in this morning's session with a 1:33.065 to do above Fernando Alonso. And that's probably what we're going to see from Max Verstappen, especially this season as well. He's the man to beat. He is the man to beat, Max Verstappen, and I really don't see anyone beating him, let's be real. And he does look like an aggressive design, doesn't it, for Red Bull. As Oscar Piastri now turns out. I mean, it'll be interesting with McLaren. It will be interesting with McLaren this season. Some people think McLaren might challenge Red Bull. This season. Again, I can't see it. I can't see McLaren challenging Red Bull. They'll definitely be better than last season, McLaren. They could well potentially win a race this season, McLaren. But again, I just can't see McLaren challenging Red Bull. Same thing again. I think Oscar Piastri, he's a talent. He is a talent for McLaren. Lando Norris, both drivers again want to be number one. And inside the McLaren team principal, yes, both of them compete against each other, which is a bit no-no, in my opinion. I know we saw it with Hamilton and Rosberg for a couple of years, didn't we at Mercedes? But let's be real, Mercedes were dominant, weren't they? We're not going to see that with Red Bull, where Verstappen and Perez will end up pretty chancing each other. We'll end up chancing each other and don't toe-to-toe with each other. We haven't seen that because Perez is happy to be number two to Max Verstappen. While with the other teams, I just don't think they're happy to be number two to each other. They're really not. Oscar Piastri is not happy to be number two to Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz not happy of being number two to Charles Leclerc. And Mercedes, Hamilton's not happy being number two to George Russell. George Russell is going to be the long-term target, the long-term number one at Mercedes. So maybe Aston Martin, probably the only ones who could challenge Red Bull, just because of that reason for me. But maybe that's where we're heading towards. Maybe that's where we're heading towards the season where, well, in this moment in time, F1, maybe we're just heading towards a fantasy lineup, say Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, which is a fantasy lineup. Let's be real. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some teams are going to have drivers who want to be number one. I mean, McLaren have had it for years with Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. Now they've done it again with Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri as well. So I just can't see anyone chancing Red Bull. I really can't. It's not because of the car either. It's because of that reason that the teams who are wanting to challenge Red Bull, they just got drivers who both want to be priority. And it just leads to a car twat, in my opinion. And it affects you big time. As the Alpine team are now trying to clean the car, trying to clean the paint of the Alpine car, which obviously came onto the car, during when Ocon was out on track. I mean, Yuki Tsunoda for me. Yuki Tsunoda, I don't know what to make of Yuki Tsunoda for me. I think he'll definitely be better than last season for me. I do expect these Tatsaf RB to be better than last season as well. And Tsunoda's probably one of these drivers who is battling for his seat this season. And I just feel that he'll put something out, won't he, to try and keep his seat. There's something there. There is something there in Yuki Tsunoda. I do agree. There is something there, but I just think at the same time he can be a car twat, can't he? He can be a car twat, Yuki Tsunoda. But I do feel there is something there. Wow, with Lance Stroll, at Austin Martin, for example, who we will see this afternoon. He's probably in that similar category to Yoti Tsunoda, where they do have something, in my opinion. But is he going to be good enough to try for Red Bull, Yoti Tsunoda? No, and that's it. And we all know that's true, that he ain't going to be good enough to try for Red Bull. Is he good enough to try for Frieza Kata, as he does in 5th place, Yoti Tsunoda, with a 134.1? I mean, he's not. That's his level for me. That's Yoti Tsunoda's level. Frieza Kata, RB. But that's the only thing that's disappointing this season with this lineup, where it's an identical lineup to obviously that season. Well, it's the same lineup. It's the same lineup as that season. So that's the disappointing. That is a disappointing part, isn't it? You know who's going to be trying for who. So yeah, 135.7, the personal best for Oscar Piastri at the moment. But we don't know. We don't know, do we? And that's the thing about pre-season testing. I don't think a lot of people should be judging pre-season testing on their season predictions, in my opinion. So, because in pre-season testing, you can see a few drivers are key Sam Baden, in my opinion. George Russell being one of them. Because there's no way George Russell's going to be below Bottas, Tsunoda, Albon and Magnussen. Let's be real. Same for Piastri as well. I was in the stating the obvious. Is Alonso going to be above Charles Leclerc? I don't know, to be honest with you. I think there will be a drop-off from Aston Martin this season. A drop-off from Fernando Alonso. I don't think Fernando Alonso is going to be where he was last season in terms of driver standings. I think he will drop off. I think he'll drop outside the top 8 of the driver standings. And I think at best for Fernando Alonso, the best he can finish is probably 9th in the driver standings this season. He could maybe challenge Oscar Piastri for that 8th position in the driver standings. That's where I think 8th place will be. Piastri versus Alonso in the driver standings, in my opinion. 10th place is up for grabs in the driver standings. You've got the likes of Daniel Ricciardo. I think he'll be up there, in my opinion. You've got Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, Piastri. Alpine are consistent. The Alpine for me are consistent. I've been inconsistent and consistent. I've been consistent at the same time. Alpine, so they'll be battling for 10th place as well in the driver standings, along with Daniel Ricciardo. And yeah, I think it'll probably be them 3 and Alex Albon, who will battle for 10th as well in the driver standings. So it'll be between them 4, in my opinion. As Oscar Piastri does yellow in the first sector. And by the way, people, it's not like qualifying. It's not like qualifying in testing. It's all about getting the acting, of course, as well. It's all about getting the acting, of course. You don't have to do full pure trying to set the quickest time. I mean, Max Verstappen will probably do that, trying to set the quickest time in probably everything. As it's raining over here in Taro. As Oscar Piastri stays in 8th. Oscar Piastri's speed trap 132 miles per hour. I mean, don't get me wrong, we are probably going to see McLaren potentially up there, potentially up there in a few races. To be honest, to be honest with you, we probably haven't seen McLaren up there, obviously in a few races. But it's done be more tasting, isn't it, between McLaren, Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes in terms of being up there, chance and Red Bull in a few races. But we all know Red Bull are going to be dominant this season and next season as well. As Charles Leclerc is on the out up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to see Ferrari challenge because Ferrari for me are the poster boys. They are the poster boys of Formula 1. We can all agree with that. I would love to see Ferrari challenge. I would love to see Ferrari even win the championships then. They've not won the championship since 2007, which is just mental. It's just mental for the poster boys of Formula 1 in Ferrari. That's probably why they're trying to get that's why they probably got Lewis Hamilton in. But I just can't see how they're going to win with both Leclerc and Hamilton in the team, as Charles Leclerc sets the personal best first sector. 2 tenths quicker than Max Verstappen. And all of a sudden he's done sure. Charles Leclerc. And he's backed out of this gap for some reason. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's another DNF. Because Ferrari loved the DNF, don't it? Oh yeah, he went wide and he docked up, didn't he? He did dock up there, Charles Leclerc, which probably cost him this flying up in testing, so he backed out of it, didn't he? Charles Leclerc, which is completely understandable. But like I said, Ferrari done it. One Ferrari suit these regulations, they do suit these regulations, so there's no excuses from Ferrari for me on why they shouldn't be winning the championships, in my opinion. They should have won the title in 2022. Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. They were the best prepared team going into that 2022 season and started off well as well, didn't they? So, and it's just like midway through the season, it just fell away, didn't it? But Ferrari, the poster boys of F1, they're basically the Manchester United of the Premier League. They're basically the Manchester United of the Premier League. Obviously, true to my Liverpool connections, I really hope Manchester United don't really come back to the top. But in terms of my F1 connections, as a child, you grew up. My childhood was growing up in the Michael Schumacher Ferrari days. So I'd love to see Ferrari back up there. And when I started really watching F1, I think it was Fernando Alonso when he won the Renault. I only saw Kimi Raikkonen win the title in the Ferrari for me, which was 2007. That is so many years, isn't it? They're basically the Liverpool. They are basically the Liverpool of F1 Ferrari, because I know I said they're probably the Manchester United, but you could say that they're the Liverpool as well, waiting so long to win the title. Went so long to win the title then in F1. But yeah, they are the poster boys for me, Ferrari and Formula 1. If you want to join, if the car didn't matter, if you were to join a team in F1, a dream team in F1, it'd be Ferrari all day long. As Charles Leclerc does back up to second, above Fernando Alonso. That's competed then. Max Verstappen's competed 32 yachts. Charles Leclerc competed 20 yachts. Fernando Alonso 32 yachts, who's now in the pits. Bottas 22 yachts, who's now in the pits. Yuki Tsunoda 32 yachts. Alex Albon 23. Ken Madsen 32. Oscar Piastri 17. George Russell 19. And Esteban Ocon's competed 23 yachts. And now Max Verstappen's now competed 33 yachts now. Pit year 9 with a woman who is in the pit year 9. I'm sorry, I'm tired of got my TV muted because I am with Joy Barton. In that sense. All these women pretending to know, they know what they're talking about in F1. I'm sorry, Rachel Potts, for example, she don't know what she's talking about. She has no experience in F1. Honestly, I'm sorry, I just think it's overkill. I do think it's overkill with these women pundits now in all sports. In my opinion. That Naomi, she's only experienced in driving in women's F1, well, in women's motorsport. She's not experienced at driving a men's car. Let's be real. And they all think that Jamie Chadwick can compete in men's F1. You can't be serious. You can't be serious, honestly. I mean, she can probably. People will question me why you don't think women can compete in F1. They can compete in F1, but I just think it's pretty dangerous for me. I think it's pretty dangerous because if you're going to have a man and a woman going toe to toe on track, and let's say the man tests the woman out of the race, that could suffer an injury to the woman. Yeah, I'm all for women driving against each other. They should keep it that way. The women should drive against each other in motorsport, in this Formula Series for me, in the Formula W Series for me. There's no way a woman should be driving in men's F1 because it's all in the ending tears. It's all in the ending tears when a man does something accidentally and tests the woman out of the race, and God forbid the woman, Jamie Chadwick, suffers an injury, and you would get the work people complaining, saying, "Oh, it's a disgrace. That man should be a disgrace for taking the woman out of the race." That's what you're gonna get, and it'll be on Piers Morgan's show as well. Piers Morgan with his doofus eyeballs as well will be at the top of centre of it, saying, "Oh, this is a disgrace." So for me, the rumours of Jamie Chadwick potentially driving in men's F1, you can't be serious, honestly. You can't be serious when you say that. You can't say that with a straight face. There's no way that should be happening, in my opinion. Not a chance. You can't drive in men's F1. Not a chance. And it's not because I don't think she's not good enough. I just think, like I said before, the men are not going to be. They're not going to be soft, in my opinion. The men will if they want. They'll want to be. Don't toe to toe with the men on track. It ain't happening, people. It ain't happening. And if it does happen, then F1 has certainly gone downhill, in my opinion. I think F1's done downhill anyways. I really do. I think F1's done downhill anyways. It's not as good as it used to be decades ago, Formula 1. There's just a lot of there's been a lot of changes, haven't there? The cars from back when it was competitive, it's not as good these days. I know we had an exception with the 2021 season, but back then, we even had more teams competing. Let's be real. At best, in F1 now, you're probably going to get 2 teams competing against each other for the title, but we haven't seen that recently. The last 2 seasons, it's all been Red Bull. Let's be real. And that's all we want as F1 fans. I don't mind the same team winning. Honestly, I don't mind the same team winning. I'm not going to be snobby about it. But I honestly see a title hit, then I'm happy. But the addition of a woman driver, I think it's just a nonsense. Honestly, I do think it is a nonsense, and I think putting a woman in men's F1 will be another downfall for Formula 1 because the world will get involved. In my opinion, they will get involved, especially if something happens to Jamie Chadwick, for example. I'm not saying she's not done enough. I think she is done enough, but when you don't have a man and a woman going toe to toe on track, and what happens if Jamie Chadwick goes into the wall, then the war brigade will be on it. Will be on it on the social medias, saying this is a disgrace. Yes, protests and all that, and we don't need that in Formula 1. We don't need that in Formula 1, in my opinion. James Chadwick, my final say on it, James Chadwick, she probably is good enough, but you can't be serious. She can't thrive. She can't thrive in men's F1. No chance. And it's not because it's not good enough. It's just because I'm just worried about the men going against the women on track. And I know James Chadwick has had that a lot in terms of the women's Formula series. I know she's probably had that a lot. But physicality, let's be real, it's a physicality. It's different. Women's F1 is different to men's F1. Men's F1, there's physicality in there, and they are aggressive, trust me. And they will be aggressive with James Chadwick as well. So, and James Chadwick will probably expect it to be all softy. You had the women's Formula series. When it ain't gonna be, there's a difference. There's a difference in men's F1 and the women's Formula series, in my opinion. But I think that's a good debate. I think that is a good debate to have. But she can't thrive. She can't thrive in men's Formula 1. No chance. Can't be serious. But yeah, we've been live for an hour on this Watchalong. We're still done be live for 2 more hours at Yates. Obviously, I know it's a bit early. For some people, especially my subs as well, because my subs will still be asleep. To be honest with you. Yeah, for me, I didn't even set an alarm clock, to be honest with you, to try and get up at 7, because I just know I don't work enough anyways. I don't work enough to try and obviously to look after So you look after the Dodge, are you? Who is down by my side here. Don't take him out for a walk, aren't we? Don't take him out for a walk after this Watchalong. But yeah, the women pundits are just overkill, in my opinion. They are just overkill. Oh, I can't see George Russell. The cover the pit, yeah, up. I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? Oh yeah, they're showing you the steering wheel of the Mercedes. Yeah, the WhatsApp. That's what I was on about, the WhatsApp button, which is basically the team radio, let's be real. I mean, that's mental, isn't it, to have the WhatsApp button? And it's only a replay of George Russell. Obviously, George Russell has that fence thing, doesn't he? Obviously, now there's that fence thing on that Mercedes where, obviously, they always use that in testing on the front of the cars, which is basically a crash test, basically. I do feel sorry for Bottas, swapping down to Sauber after being a number 2 at Mercedes. He was stood at Williams, wasn't he? Bottas, he was stood at Williams. I think Bottas probably needs that Audi investment, doesn't he? When Audi come in to take over at Sauber, Bottas be hoping to keep that seat at Sauber, and that will help Bottas a lot, that Audi investment in the car. Obviously, you do have some sort of investment this season with obviously stock and obviously Kit as well. Kit being the sponsor. I just don't see Alfa Romeo being. I just don't see Alfa Romeo being above Williams and being above Visa Kassab, in my opinion. So I just think Alfa Romeo will be in the same position as last season, probably battling it with Haas to be the worst team on the grid. Actually, I think Haas to be the worst team on the grid. I think Alfa Romeo will be fine, personally. Yeah, quick there into turn 1 from Valtteri Bottas. I'll hope you try and do a qualifying Watchalong, because I know qualifying is on a Friday, isn't it? For the Bahrain Grand Prix, it's on a Friday, so I can't guarantee it, but wait and see if I do a qualifying Watchalong. As the Ferrari team are fifth in Charles Leclerc's car underneath the car. Obviously, just a reminder, this afternoon session, you're going to see Jordan Sargent, Daniel Ricciardo, Lando Norris, Per Darcy, Sergio Perez, Jan Stroll, Zhou Guanyu, Nico Hulkenberg, Lewis Hamilton, and Carlos Sainz. That's who you're going to see. That's who you're going to see in the afternoon session. And finally, your comment after 1 hour. Well, there was John Conway's comment as well. Bid up to the Dugout Football channel. Hello mate, hope you're well. I'm on my way to Belfast for the day. Ooh, so it's just me and Nathan in the house. Belfast, wow. I take it he's getting a ferry, or is he getting is he getting a ferry to Belfast, or is he getting a flight to Belfast? Let me know. I know it'd be one of them two, won't it? So it's just you and Nathan in the house. But yeah, I'm well. Yeah, just my usual self as always. I was fucking shattered. I was shattered when I walked up. When I started to do this Watchalong, I was absolutely shattered. But now I'm starting to be more awake. Now. And a flight to Belfast. He's off to see Niall Horan in concert tonight. Very nice. Very nice. So a flight to Belfast. Probably easier. Yeah, it's probably easier, isn't it? A flight. You just never know. You just never know with ferries these days. It's probably quicker to get a flight, let's be real, than a ferry, with all due respect to the ferry. Because I remember on the still trip, I went to France. Obviously, we went from Dover. Which obviously had the ferry. Took the ferry from Dover to Paris, France, and it took ages. Honestly, it takes ages on the ferry. While on the plane, and while on the flight, it will be more quicker. It'll be more quicker, to be fair. So it's completely understandable why you're done for a flight, to be fair. As Officer Piastri does fourth with a 1:34.3. So Officer Piastri. So the current order is Max Verstappen, top of the section with a 1:33.0. Charles Leclerc in second, Alonso in third. I need to rewind it to try and get the standings for you people. Piastri in fourth, Bottas in fifth, Tsunoda in sixth, Albon in seventh, Ocon in eighth, Magnussen in ninth, and George Russell in 10th. So they are obviously splitting it into two. Obviously, the other set of drivers will be doing the afternoon session, which I won't be doing. I won't be doing the afternoon session, but I will definitely be doing morning sessions. But yeah, flight takes 45 minutes on a flight. So yeah, it's quicker than a ferry then, isn't it? Because a ferry would be at Yeats pretty 2 hours at Yeats. I would say 1.5 hours, 2 hours. And I'm not really good on boats and ferries, to be honest with you, because it makes it well. I'm all right, but I remember in Spain, in Mallorca, I remember on the boat, my dad was he was awful. He felt awful. He was sick. He was actually sick on the boat. And I was like, oh, I'm done, fucking hell, I'm done be sick in a minute. Because I think my dad wanted to go downstairs. Obviously, this is when I was a child. This is when I was a child when we went to Mallorca, and that's the thing with boats. They can make you sick. I think I've been sick as well. To be fair, I think it's just a normal thing when you're on the boat. And a ferry. I don't know if I was sick on the ferry. Obviously, I didn't feel well when I was on a ferry, though. Obviously, I didn't feel well. It's tiny like a boat, isn't it? But once I went outside, got fresh air on the ferry, I was all right. But I think a boat is different, isn't it, to a ferry? A boat, you do have pretty full speed. A ferry, I'm not being, with due respect to the ferry, I think even Harry Maguire moves quicker than the ferry, to be fair with you. Even a snail moves quicker than a ferry, let's be real. And plus, the ferry can't really do quick, though, can it? But when I'm on holiday in Strombar, I do see plenty of ferries like from the seafront at Strombar. Obviously, when it's opposite Strombar, you see what is it? Is it Air? I think it's Air. That's opposite Strombar. When you take that long, it's like a long turn, isn't it? And so yeah, that's where I normally see ferries anyways. Oh, breaking news. Probably as expected. Throwing Plattenberg after Dunfair to Stutton's, Bayern and Thomas Tuchel have decided to part ways at the end of the season. At the end of the season. I thought you meant now. I was like, yeah, that would have been the right decision from Bayern Munich. But at the end of the season, well, I think that this settles it now for me. Bayer Leverkusen are probably going to win the league. Bayer Leverkusen and winning the league, winning the Bundesliga, choose to Thomas Tuchel. He's too negative for Bayern Munich, in my opinion. And it's absolutely crazy and madness how Bayern Munich they chopped off that much Bayern Munich. Because you look at the squad on paper, they should be competing to win the Champions League. They should be probably one of the favourites to win the Champions League. Albeit, I think they still are, but on form, they're not. On form, they're not favourites to win the Champions League. They should win the Bundesliga easily with that squad, Bayern Munich. But that's all credit to Bayer Leverkusen as well, and Xabi Alonso. Because Bayern Munich, they were awful last season, let's be real. They were awful last season and still won the Bundesliga due to Borussia Dortmund bottling it. So it does take that as well. And that's all credit to Bayer Leverkusen, who are on the way to winning the Bundesliga. I can't remember the last time they won the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen. It's probably been quite a while, you'd have to say. And obviously there is that inevitable talk of Xabi Alonso potentially. It's going to be Liverpool first Bayer Leverkusen, isn't it? In the Europa League final. I can just see it. Honestly. Liverpool first Bayer Leverkusen Europa League final. Basically, the passing on the keys final, isn't it? And Bayer Leverkusen, they could have an amazing season as well. I mean, they could win the Bundesliga and the Europa League. That would be an amazing season for them. And it will make it fully convinced as well by Xabi Alonso as well. I am fully convinced though. After watching Leverkusen against Bayern Munich, that was the game for me where I was like, yeah, I am actually fully convinced by Alonso to beat Bayern Munich. I know Bayern Munich were bad, but to beat Bayern Munich like that makes me fully convinced by Alonso. And it would be interesting to see if Alonso does stick with that formation at Liverpool, or does he stick with the 4-3-3? Does it suit Liverpool best? I think Alonso can easily alternate, can't he? He can easily rotate between the formations for me. Like certain games, he might play 3 at the back, like in the big games potentially. And in the games you expect Liverpool to win, he might probably play 4 at the back, to be honest with you. So he might rotate Alonso. But that's the deal. It's all about having a plan B. But to be fair, I'm glad it's only going to be a 3-hour watch on, because I was fearing it was going to be 5 hours. I mean, honestly, I honestly feared it was going to be fucking 5 hours. Don't say hello. Don't say hello to the chat. Oh. There we are. Say hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. Charlie for you. Good boy. You good boy. You good boy, Charlie. Obviously, it's not my dad. It's my sister's dad. But obviously, with my sister having obviously the little one. My sister having a little one. Obviously, her child. Well, she's having another child now. She's having another child. So I think that's due in 1 month's time. As well, in 1 month's time. So yeah, and I'm being uncle to two childs now, 2 nieces. Well, we don't know if it's going to be a niece yet. It's either a niece or a nephew. So as Charles Kerr dots up. But yeah, there is a bit of snobbery here now with F1 fans saying, oh, Hull is a challenge, Hull is competitive. I think it's as simple as this. Max Verstappen's just too good. Just too good for everyone. It's all about the driving ability as well. And I just think Lewis Hamilton just doesn't suit these weather racings, does he? I think Lewis Hamilton suited, obviously, the weather racings before 2022. That's why he was so dominant. These weather racings suit Max Verstappen, which is why he's dominant in these years. And we're probably going to see another driver who's probably going to be dominant after 2026, in my opinion. Be interesting to see who that is. Because I don't think it'd be Verstappen, and I don't think it'd be Hamilton. I mean, it could be Hamilton. It depends on these new weather racings. Will he suit the new weather racings, Hamilton? But it'd be interesting to see who Bayern Munich they're in to replace Thomas Tuchel. I suspect it'd be Horner. It'd be Horner from Stuttgart, because Stuttgart are doing well, and we all know what happens in the Bundesliga. We know what happens. Bayern Munich take the best players and probably the best available managers from other teams in the Bundesliga. So I think it'd be Horner to be next manager at Bayern Munich, because he's going to be too tempted. He'd be too tempted to turn that down, in my opinion. And I think Horner, he's overachieved for Stuttgart, hasn't he, in the Bundesliga? You'd have to say. Being in the top 4 as well. But at the same time, they could be in the Champions League, couldn't they? They could be in the Champions League, Stuttgart. So it's an interesting choice for Horner. Does he stay with Stuttgart? Actually, no, I think it'd be Julian Nagelsmann, actually. There's something weird about Julian Nagelsmann, because Julian Nagelsmann hasn't officially yet Bayern Munich. He's on Guardian leave. He's on Guardian leave, so he is still contracted to Bayern Munich. I mean, it's a weird situation, but he contracted to another manager as well, in Thomas Tuchel. So Julian Nagelsmann, I think it'll probably be him then. I think Julian Nagelsmann will probably retake over at Bayern Munich after the Euros, after he's managed Germany in the Euros. I think he'll take over Bayern Munich then. So yeah, I think Horner might actually stay at Stuttgart for when Stuttgart will potentially be in the Champions League next season as well. So I think that's a dud. To be fair. But yeah, weird situation with Nagelsmann, where he is, that he's on Guardian leave. And plus Bayern Munich, they love the German managers, don't they? They're not getting Jurgen Klopp. There's no way Jurgen Klopp's going to go straight to Bayern Munich straight away after leaving Liverpool. I think Jurgen's retiring, personally. I think Jurgen's retiring after Liverpool. I just can't see him anywhere else. He does, like I said, in that announcement, when I did that announcement video, he does look beaten up, Jurgen. He does look beaten up. And he does look out of energy. Spend the time with the family. Exactly. Spend the time with the family. Jurgen's had a good career, a good manager career, especially with Dortmund as well. And even better at Liverpool. He's had a good career, good manager career at Mainz as well, when it all started for Jurgen. Jurgen won trophies at Dortmund, and he's won trophies at Liverpool, and he's going to win more trophies at Liverpool by the rest of it this season. Touch wood. But yeah, I just feel there is going to be a special ending, and we do for Jurgen at Liverpool. That special ending being the Premier League trophy. We do see it. We do see it. That's the special ending for me. Premier League trophy with another trophy and a Europa League, or Premier League trophy and all the rest of the trophies. Honestly, I can just see a special ending, and that will involve the Premier League title coming back to Anfield. Because obviously Manchester City can still win it, definitely. But watching Man City last night against Brentford, something just isn't right with Man City. And it took a Brentford player to slip. To break Brentford down. And Man City have got tough games in March as well. They've got a massive one in March, Manchester City. I think they've got the toughest one in March out of everyone. Obviously, we do as well for having Man City in March. But Man City have the toughest one in terms of fixtures. Man City still got a lot of tough games. They have. And something's not right with Man City. I just feel something's not right. The good thing for Liverpool will be if Man City and Arsenal stay in the Champions League. I want Man City and Arsenal to both reach the final of the Champions League. I think that will help Liverpool massively, because it'll be the priorities as well for Man City and Arsenal when it gets to end of the season. What's the priorities going to be? They can't prioritise both, because they'll probably miss out on both of them. I reckon that could be the final, honestly. I honestly think Man City Arsenal could be the final of the Champions League. I honestly do think that, because I don't see why not. I think Arsenal can definitely win the Champions League. It's so open, the Champions League, in my opinion. Arsenal are hitting form at the right time as well. But we'll see what happens to Arsenal in terms of the running April, May time, which is what cost them last season. So let's see what happens there. So there's still going to be them questions asked about Arsenal, April, May. I think it'd be a 3-horse race all the way to the final day. I really do. Even though I wasn't really convinced by Man City yesterday, it's Man City at the end of the day. It is Man City. Away to Bournemouth would be tough for Man City as well. But yeah, we've got 1 hour. We've got 1 hour and 32. 1 hour and 32 minutes left in this morning session Watchalong. So the standing is Max Verstappen in first, Charles Leclerc second, Fernando Alonso third, Piastri fourth, Bottas fifth, Tsunoda sixth, Albon seventh, Ocon eighth, Magnussen ninth, and George Russell 10th. And I'll definitely need something to eat after I've done this Watchalong. Red Bull probably do have paint, but you don't see the paint on the Red Bull, because the pre-season testing paint, because it's all carbon black anyways for Red Bull. But yeah, I will be back with another Watchalong tomorrow. Another morning session Watchalong tomorrow. This Max Verstappen is currently out on track. Obviously, I hope it's a competitive season. I hope it is. But I just don't see it. I think 2024, this season, will be like that season for me. And 2022 season. 2025 will be a transitional season for the Ice Web. I'll say Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. I don't know if Sergio Perez is going to stay at Red Bull for next season. I do feel it could be his last season at Red Bull, even if he does finish second, Perez. Finally, like that, Ted Roberts is in the pit again. Someone who is experienced to F1, someone who knows what he's talking about in terms of F1. None of the, with all due respect, these women pundits on F1 and in all sports, they don't know what they're talking about. They shouldn't be talking about men's F1. There may be experience in women's F1, women's Formula Series, but they need to stick to that, in my opinion. It's same with Botton, to be fair. I don't really like women. I don't really like former women botters commentating on women's Botton, unless they know what they're talking about. But for me, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's be real. As Max Verstappen sets the quickest middle sector. He's already leading this morning's session, and he's looking to get into the 132s here. Max Verstappen looking to be the first driver to get into the 132s in this session, and he does with a 132.5 to the quickest in this morning's session, 7/10 quick, 0.7 quicker, 7/10 quicker than Charles Leclerc in second. The Red Bull. The Red Bull car design does look more aggressive this year, doesn't it? It does look more aggressive. Which is a bit of a worry. Which is a bit of a worry for everyone else, in my opinion. When Red Bull have done for an aggressive car layout design, in my opinion, that's a massive worry for everyone else, in my opinion. And he probably showed it with that lap as well from Max Verstappen. But yeah, the 2025 driver market, it's going to be interesting. Who could replace Perez at Red Bull? I know it's too early to talk about that, but you got the likes of Carlos Sainz there, who could replace Perez at Red Bull. Especially if he has a good final season with Ferrari as well, Carlos Sainz. Who else? I think you got Albon again. I think Albon could potentially return to Red Bull. With obviously if he puts he's done well with Williams so far, Albon. But Albon be into Mercedes as well, I would say. But who else could go to Red Bull? Piastri potentially could go to Red Bull. I wouldn't go for Daniel Ricciardo personally. Even if Daniel Ricciardo does have a good season at Red Bull, I mean, he'll be happy, won't he? He'd be happy to be number 2 to Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo. But I don't know. I just think that time's done now, hasn't it, for Ricciardo at Red Bull. So if I'm Red Bull, I'll go for Sainz personally. If I'm Red Bull, I mean, if Albon and Dadsy are definitely up there as well, because they didn't have good first stints at Red Bull, did they? But maybe they deserve a second chance at Red Bull potentially. I don't think Tsunoda's done enough to try for Red Bull. So yeah, I think it'd be Carlos Sainz. I think Carlos Sainz should get that Red Bull seat at the end of the season. Even if Perez does have a good season, even if Carlos Sainz has a good season as well, I think Carlos Sainz is the perfect replacement for Sergio Perez at Red Bull. I think Carlos Sainz will respect being number 2 more to Max Verstappen. I just don't think he respected being number 2 to Charles Leclerc, in my opinion, Carlos Sainz. And again, I think Carlos Sainz at Red Bull, I've told that for the last 2 years, in my opinion. Well, certainly the last year, in my opinion. So, just like I told Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, in my opinion. Because I told that last year, and I got that, and I got that, didn't I? It's so easy predicting Hamilton. It's so easy. He's a cash cow. Lewis Hamilton's a cash cow. Of course, he's going to go to Ferrari for the bloody money. He's a cash cow. All these people jumping around saying, "Oh, Hamilton's going to Ferrari. Ferrari could actually win a title." They could win a title, but not with Charles Leclerc as his teammate. No chance. A suicidal bond, in my opinion. Having them two, both have egos, both will want to be number 1 driver. It just brings that toxicity. This is why I don't think McLaren will challenge, in my opinion, because Norris and Piastri, they all want to be number 1 driver in McLaren as well. So I do question teams' choices, to be fair, when they sign a driver, in my opinion. So far, it only seems to be Red Bull who have made the correct choice, getting Perez as number 2. But here comes Esteban Ocon, who I do think will replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. I do think that, because the strong bond with Toto Wolff, Esteban Ocon, he's had that strong bond with Toto Wolff. I think the big teams need to go back to doing that, in my opinion. None of this fantasy nostalgia lineup. They need to go back to like a Red Bull with Verstappen and Perez. Perez, who's happy to be number 2. Mercedes, they should be doing George Russell and Esteban Ocon as a lineup. Because Esteban Ocon, he'd be happy to be number 2 to George Russell. Ferrari should have been Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz, in my opinion. That's what it should have been. Because I think Carlos Sainz, then, he would have respected being number 2 to Lewis Hamilton. And they'll work more as a team as well. But Hamilton and Leclerc as teammates, no chance. No chance they'll win the title. unless you get rid of one of them and put a dud number 2 in. As Max Verstappen comes into the pit and he comes back out. Max Verstappen. Oh, he's part to the side, that's it. Max Verstappen. Oh, I think he's... Oh yeah, he's having a bit of a race start, isn't he? Max Verstappen out the pit lane. And here he comes out the pit lane, Max Verstappen. But yeah, that's... For me, to make it a competitive title race in F1, that's what the big teams need to do. They need to get a dud number 2 in every one team, apart from Red Bull. Red Bull got that with Max Verstappen. With Sergio Perez. But Ferrari and Mercedes, they need to get a dud number 2 in. Same with McLaren as well. There's no way they're chancing with a Norris and Piastri, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, and then Russell and Hamilton. I mean, it just ain't gonna happen. It ain't happening. And I was right about Mercedes as well. I was right about Mercedes when they brought George Russell in. I was like, I'm not sure I had that partnership. Because I had my doubts about it. I did have my doubts about it. Obviously, they will finish second, Mercedes. Obviously, they'll finish second, but they want to be closing that gap to Red Bull. And they're not going to do that with 2 drivers who want to be number 1. And we saw what happened in Qatar last year with Russell and Hamilton in the first lap as well. So, I mean, the main win races, Mercedes, Ferrari, and McLaren, the main win races, but yeah, they're not going to be in a title race all the way through to the end season. No chance. Not with them now enough, in my opinion. But yeah, I'll be happy proving 1. I'll be happy proving 1 if they're happy to. If Piastri is happy to be number 2 to Norris, that's what they need. That's what every team needs, in my opinion. They need a driver to be happy to be number 2 and happy to be number 1. But at McLaren, I just don't see that because Piastri is a talent, and obviously Lando Norris is a serious talent, isn't he? Mercedes, Russell, and Hamilton. Hamilton has an ego of being a 7-time world champion. George Russell probably has an ego as well of being a footer world champion. Ferrari, I don't think Carlos Sainz respects Charles Leclerc, in my opinion. And I'm with Carlos Sainz, to be fair. I am with him. I actually think Carlos Sainz is a better driver. I think he is a better race driver than Charles Leclerc. In terms of qualifying, obviously Charles Leclerc is better than Carlos Sainz. Because Charles Leclerc, don't get me wrong, he is rapid. He is rapid in qualifying. But in the race, Carlos Sainz is better driver in the race. And that's your bread and butter for me. That's your bread and butter. It's the race, in my opinion. No one cares about you having the most pole positions, about you qualifying on pole. Congratulations, who cares? Qualifying on pole is basically a hole in one. Basically a hole in one dove. Who cares? Who cares, seriously? It's all about the race. The race order, in my opinion. As Daniel Ricciardo is on the pit wall, trying to get a bit of information. A bit of stats from Yuki Tsunoda on the track as well. A bit of performance analysis as well from this morning's session and testing. So, look at the state of that paint. Bloody hell. Look at the state of that paint on the face of that top. But obviously, you only see that in pre-season testing. The pretty paint. The absolute state of it. That's going to test some pretty Keenan, isn't it? That's going to test some pretty Keenan. I mean, 0.699. People will say, "Oh, that's quite close." It ain't, people. It ain't close. To close Verstappen, you need to be at least 0.1 at least, for me. As Yuki Tsunoda sets a personal best sector 1, and now he's turning to sector 2, Yuki Tsunoda, and he sets a personal best sector 2 as well, Yuki Tsunoda. As he comes across the line now, and he does 4 quickest. Yuki Tsunoda for this morning's session. As we now got an hour and 15 minutes to go. That's Oscar Piastri. I'll be right back in a second, people. See what came through the ports. Oh. I'm back now. So yeah, an hour and 12 minutes ago of this pre-season test and Watchalong. I might be able to do that afternoon set and Watchalong on Friday. I don't know yet. But so far, the guaranteed Watchalongs is obviously this Watchalong today, and tomorrow morning's Watchalong. they're the ones I can do. But yeah, like I said, I don't think you can really judge your season predictions on pre-season, really, because a lot of drivers can be sandbagging. But to be fair with you, but yeah, like I said, my season predictions, my Formula One season preview and season predictions will be coming on Saturday. I was on do Cambridge versus Peter Watson, but I thought, nah, I'll do my season predictions. And I'll probably, and I'll need to try and get a F1 Bahrain Grand Prix preview out as well, which will be next week. Which will be next week, but obviously when the season starts, of course. So yeah, it's going to be full on F1 content now, as F1 season now back. It's came round quickly, hasn't it? It has came round quickly. Like it was only 5 minutes ago we saw that dominance of the season from Max Verstappen last season. So it does come round quick. It does come round quick, to be fair. But yeah, it does come round quick, to be fair. It has came round quick this F1 season, and I still like that Mercedes design. I really do. Obviously, they've missed up the silver and Piat, haven't they? Basically, the front of the car, the top part of the car is obviously silver, and obviously the side of the car is Piat. So I like what Mercedes have done there. I just thought we made some stuff for silver and Piat instead of mixing it up every year. But yeah, I do have my season predictions for F1 walk down. Obviously, subject to change, to be fair, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, but I will say my season predictions, they're not going to be much surprises in my opinion. I think it's going to be the same old. I reckon it'll basically be like last season standings, basically. But obviously, I think Alonso won't be in the top 8, in my opinion, in terms of driver standings. I think he'll drop out. It could maybe see Jordan Sargent. I think Jordan Sargent was so unlucky last year. I reckon he could be a driver to watch this season. I think AlphaTauri or Fiat Tata, whichever team you want to call them now, I think I expect them to have a better season than that season. And I think they will be above Williams for me. AlphaTauri this season, I think they'll be above Williams. So I think Ricardo and Tsunoda, I think they'll be drivers to watch as well. But I said it earlier, I think the drivers to watch will be the ones who are battling for a 2025 seat. Like Ocon might be battling. Like Ocon will be battling for that Mercedes seat, won't he? Alonso battling for a Mercedes seat as well, potentially. Carlos Sainz will be battling for Red Bull, Audi Sauber. Aston Martin seat. So there should be your picks, in my opinion. The drivers who've got something to fight for in terms of 2025, they're fighting for a seat, in my opinion. The ones who are already contracted for like a few years, who are probably safe as well, have the safer seats. Like Charles Leclerc has a safer seat, Lewis Hamilton has a safer seat, but Hamilton will want to obviously perform in his final season for Mercedes. So it could be intriguing, could be an interesting season, but yeah, it would still be the same old dominant season for me, for Red Bull. Perez, for example, Perez will want to keep hold of that second place in the drivers' championship to maybe stay at Red Bull. I think Perez will be moved on though, personally. He's had a good few years, hasn't he, at Red Bull, Perez. But yeah, I think this season be his last season, personally. And I can see probably Carlos Sainz replacing Perez at Red Bull. And I tell you what, that would just make Red Bull even more stronger, in my opinion. And Carlos Sainz, he'd be happy to be number 2 to Verstappen as well. Honestly, if they get Carlos Sainz in Red Bull, it's game over for the rest, in my opinion. Because Sainz would be happy to be number 2 to Max Verstappen. I'm not going to judge Carlos Sainz by his time at Ferrari because he just didn't respect Charles Leclerc and he wasn't really given priority at Ferrari. Yes, be real, Carlos Sainz. And Carlos Sainz, at the end of the day, he shouldn't have the same car as Max Verstappen. Let's be real now. Perez, he's had the same car as Max Verstappen. They've both been quick. Let's be real. So I reckon it'll be the same then with Red Bull, with Verstappen and Sainz. I feel it will be a Verstappen Perez 2.0, that partnership. I really do. But if Red Bull gets someone else, like Ricardo, I don't know about that, to be honest. I think Ricardo's had his time at a top team, in my opinion. But if Red Bull get a Ricardo, Albon, Dadsey, then yeah, I think it'll be a slight drop off, in my opinion. Not to say Albon has not improved since even Red Bull, but it's the same with Albon and Dadsey. I just think they've had their time at Red Bull as well, and they weren't good enough. Simple as that. Maybe they deserve a second chance at Red Bull, but I don't think so. I don't think so personally. I think Carlos Sainz is the only option for Red Bull that is the perfect replacement for Perez, and that will keep Red Bull at the top, in my opinion. Because I don't think Red Bull can go for Fernando Alonso, because Alonso, he won't like being number 2 to Max Verstappen, because then, like I said before, he does. Now we're heading towards an hour left in this morning's pre-season test and Watchalong. They're just showing you that recap of Max Verstappen. F1 calendar will be interesting. Obviously, I'll talk more about the F1 2024 calendar in my season preview. I think questions now need to be asked about the Monaco Grand Prix. I do agree with the Americans that won F1. I do agree with them on the Monaco Grand Prix. I think questions now need to be asked now about Monaco because it's great for qualifying. It is great for qualifying because it's unpredictable in qualifying. And it makes it hard to qualify and pole in Monaco. But in the race, it's not a dud race, let's be real, people. It's not a dud race. There's no overtaking in Monaco, let's be real. And I think questions now need to be asked about Monaco 2-3. Should it stay? I don't think so. It pains me to say that because it used to be obviously a nostalgic 2-3 Monaco. But I think it's time to go now for Monaco, unfortunately. F1's about overtaking, isn't it? And that's always been the problem with the Monaco 2-3. In the race, you can't really overtake that much, apart from the start finish straight, and that's about it. But yeah, I think it's time to go for Monaco, in my opinion. People will say, well, we can't overtake in Singapore, but yeah, but in Singapore, you do get overtaking opportunities still in Singapore. I don't know why you need 24 races in a calendar. It's absolutely ludicrous, in my opinion. And it won't help the cars either, having 24 races. And it will make teams now spend even more of their budget. We'll see more teams getting fined as well, because we're fucking having 24 races and there's more chance of cars being damaged in 24 in a 24 race Grand Prix than the bloody 16 or 15 race Grand Prix, which were the good old days for me. With the 15 races, 15 races, 18 races, that's what it should be, in my opinion. We shouldn't be having over 20 races, in my opinion. And yes, be real, I think the teams and the team members, they only get 2 months really to spend time with family. 2 months, you have to say, December and January, and then they come back in February for pre-season testing, and obviously for the start of F1. But yeah, we got an hour yet, anyways, an hour yet of this pre-season testing Watchalong. As you see the paint on the Visa Cut-Off RB. Obviously, you only see that in pre-season testing. But yeah, what a state it is. And test some pretty keen off that. To be fair, it is easy to keen off. It is easy to keen off, to be fair. It's basically like a felt tip, ain't it? Basically like a felt tip paint, so it'd be easy to keen off. As we see, Kevin Magnussen in the hats, dead on the struggle this year. Obviously, stating the obvious, Haas are probably going to be the worst team on the grid. Obviously, Skype after Dunter Steiner as well for Haas as well. So, but yeah, your side, obviously, yes, paused it. So they have competed. Max Verstappen has competed 51 laps. Charles Leclerc has competed 41 laps. Fernando Alonso has competed 55 laps. Oscar Piastri has competed 35. Yuki Tsunoda has competed 50 laps. Bottas 42 laps. Albon 38 laps. Esteban Ocon 42 laps. Magnussen 37 and George Russell on the 25. I'm pretty sure they didn't use short F1 testing, did they? I think they just used this pretty different results of the F1 testing, but they've now done that these days, now showing you F1 testing. So 56 minutes left in this day one test and Watchalong. I don't know why I'm sitting like that. Like it's exciting. It's not really exciting, let's be real. It's not be real. But it's more of a disgusting, isn't it? It's more of a disgusting stream, to be honest with you. Obviously, it'd be more exciting if I did like qualifying or a race Watchalong, then it'd be more serious, won't it? To be fair, I was expecting it to be a pretty 5-hour Watchalong, but it's actually just 2 hours, which is good. I don't know whether to do a practice Watchalong, but at the same time, practice sessions, and then practice sessions will probably be pre-season, wouldn't it? But yeah, pre-season testing where you more of a discussion between mile qualifying and the race. They're the big ones, aren't they? They're the big ones where it won't be much as a discussion. The U team principal at Hart, Ayo Komatsu. So that's going to be another home race for Hart, especially in Suzuka, in Japan as well, with him being from Japan. Obviously taking over, replacing Donta Steiner. George Russell has set personal best sector 1. And he's also set a personal best sector 2. Obviously, he ain't on chance Max Verstappen's time. But he could move him up the pecking order, George Russell, who has competed the SCF so far out of everyone in this morning's Tetson. And George Russell only moves up 1 place up to 9th. Yeah, he needs to step up this season, doesn't he, George Russell? You feel he does need to step up this season as Mick Schumacher. Obviously, Michael Schumacher's son is the reserve driver for Mercedes. He's there. There he is in the pit lane. I mean, Mick Schumacher could be an option for Mercedes next season, but yeah, too big of a jump off for Mick Schumacher. I think Mick Schumacher to definitely try for Audi Sauber personally, or even a Williams potentially for Mick Schumacher. Obviously, it'd be nice. It's a name at the end of the day, isn't it? It's a name. So he'll probably get back into F1 at some point. Mick Schumacher, which is Michael Schumacher's son. Especially when Alex Albon's going to be fighting for a better seat in 2020, a better seat for 2025 as well this season. I think that there is a spot there for Mick Schumacher to take over at Williams from Alex Albon, who I think will leave Williams at the end of the season and join a better team. What team Alex Albon joins, I got a good feeling about Aston Martin for Alex Albon, because I feel Fernando Alonso will retire at the end of the year. At the end of the year for me. I mean, all this talk about Alonso to Mercedes, it ain't happening, let's be real. I'll be shocked if it does happen. Yes, it's a name. He is named Fernando Alonso, but I don't think Mercedes need a driver like that. They don't need an ego like Fernando Alonso at Mercedes, especially if they want to challenge dead batter chance in the den at the top. So I think Albon will replace Alonso at Aston Martin. I think Albon becomes the number 1 driver at Aston Martin. potentially alongside Dan Stroll then. I don't know what's going on with Aston Martin. Apparently Dan Stroll's dad, who is in charge of Aston Martin, has sold the shares, hasn't he? He's starting to sell his shares of the team. So we could maybe see Dan Stroll potentially leave as well. Because he obviously had that benefit of obviously his dad being in charge, so Dan Stroll had to save the seat, didn't he? Had to save the seat in F1. I think Dan Stroll, he could leave Aston Martin as well, Dan Stroll. And I think Dan Stroll is still good enough, in my opinion, to still thrive in F1. I think maybe a Williams for Dan Stroll, back to Williams for him, maybe. I mean, I miss Schumacher and then Dan Stroll at Williams. I don't think that's a bad partnership for Williams. I mean, there's a lot of swings and roundabouts, isn't there, in this driving market. Any option could happen. But I do see Albon at Aston Martin, definitely. I think they'll take Albon on at Aston Martin. It's all about then a teammate for Albon at, at an Aston Martin. Maybe a Bottas, potentially. Maybe a Bottas at Aston Martin, potentially, to team up with Albon. Because I think Bottas, I don't think he's one of them to kick up a fuss, in my opinion, about being number one or number two. Any day, he was probably number two at Williams, wasn't he? To Felipe Massa. So, and Albon is a talent as well. That's what maybe Aston Martin put down. That's the way Aston Martin took down to. Probably an Albon and Bottas as teammates at Aston Martin. Because there is rumours, there's still rumours going around. We don't know what's going on with Lawrence Stroll at Aston Martin. Has he shared the shares of the team? Could we see that, could this be the last season we see of Lawrence Stroll in the Aston Martin car, or even potentially an F1 car as well? I don't think he's that bad of a driver, Lawrence Stroll. I just don't think he's done enough for where Aston Martin want to be, in my opinion. I think Lance Stroll will be better off at a Sauber, at a Williams, at that sort of team, in my opinion. Or even potentially at Andretti, who Andretti surely has to be accepted at some point into F1. Because that's ridiculous that they don't get accepted into F1. It's already ridiculous how they didn't rejected already. Something seems to be not right with Andretti on why they're not getting accepted into F1. Something must be going on. Something suspicious must be going on. Because I don't get it, because F1 is run by Americans and Andretti is run by an American. I don't see what the problem is. So this key is something's going on. I don't know what it could be that's going on with Andretti and why they're not being accepted into F1. What? Who cares, seriously? Who cares, seriously? We need more teams in F1. You got two empty slots to fill with 2 new teams in F1. I've been saying this year after year after year after year. They say they want to make it competitive. It's already it. We want to make it competitive by keeping the 10 teams in there. It's not been competitive. Let's be real. It's been a dominant season. It's not me being snobbery about, obviously. I said this about when Hamilton dominated at Mercedes. It's the same with Michael Schumacher when he dominated at Ferrari as well. So Vettel, another one, when he dominated at Red Bull. I don't think we've had consistent years, have we, of competitiveness. We probably had one season where we had competition, 2021. Definitely a memorable title race between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. But then after that, it goes back to being a one-way traffic season again. like it was before that 2021 season as well. It's going to be the case in F1, unfortunately. It's going to be the case in F1, unfortunately, where we'll be lucky to have one season where there will be tight race, but then the season after will be one-way traffic, in my opinion. 2026 could be the season where we have a title race, in my opinion. But then after that, I think I mean 2026 with Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. I think that's what they offered Lewis Hamilton, didn't they? I think they said to Lewis Hamilton, right, this is what we're doing in 2026. This is where we do expect to really compete, to really have a race winning car. They must have promised him. They must have promised him that. So maybe 2026, watch out for Ferrari, look out for Leclerc and Hamilton. We've seen it with the new radiations though. With the 2022 radiations, Ferrari prepared well, didn't they? For the 2022 radiations, obviously didn't win the title though. I think that could be the same then in 2026, where you could see Ferrari being the best prepared team for the 2026 radiations. Who knows? It might help Hamilton, I say, to have two transitional seasons with Ferrari and then go full all out for it to try and win that record breaking 8th title for Ferrari. That's what I'm not denying. Lewis Hamilton can easily win a title with Ferrari because Ferrari are quick, let's be real. But it's just when it's in the race, isn't it? And strategy, it always gets Ferrari down. A lot of things gets Ferrari down in the bloody race. That's why they've not won a title since 2007. In my opinion, but I just don't see Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton partnership working, in my opinion. With a bit of hope, Charles Leclerc yeets Ferrari by 2026. Then Lewis Hamilton can have a good number 2 driver who's happy to be number 2 to Lewis Hamilton. I mean, who would replace Charles Leclerc though at Ferrari? Who could be good number 2 to Lewis Hamilton? That's a good question though, isn't it? That's the question. I would have said Carlos Sainz would have been good number 2, honestly. But that ain't gonna happen now. Carlos Sainz will get Ferrari at the end of the season. And I think he's perfect for Red Bull. I really do. So it's gonna be hard to see who'll be number 2 to Lewis Hamilton if Charles Leclerc was to leave by 2026. So 42 minutes left in this watch on. So currently on board with Oscar Piastri, who does wide, and he will back out of that lap now. Did well, to be fair, to keep on track though. Yeah, Piastri's spinning, isn't he? A little bit of a spin there from Piastri. Well, almost spun there, but bloody hell, tired. Happy I didn't. To be fair, I haven't been yawning that much in the stream, Probably because I've waken up now often. 'Dit is zo'n je replay of Charles Kirk. $40 a door in Tetson, and I think they might do the one like restart after Tetson's done. They do usually do that, don't they? Journey's Will Butson is in the pit lane in front of Max Verstappen's car. I must say TikTok is a weird place, isn't it? People speed dating on TikTok. What's that all about? And some people would actually take that seriously, that speed dating. And they're pretty ass. The ass who's doing it is massing them up. But then the next day after, the same person who had a match is now back in the bloody box again. Well, it don't work, does it? And the player when they're doing that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna match up with this person, but then the next day they're trying to match up with another person. Pretty ridiculous, really is. Pretty speed dating on TikTok. God's sake. Is that what we come down to now as a world? Is that what we come down to now as a world? Shouldn't be happening, in my opinion. Shouldn't be happening. And the horse is like, oh, it's okay, you don't have enough followers to put your camera on. Very fishy, suspicious. Very suspicious, that. People can easily lie about their age as well, let's be real. Or it says 23 on the bio. Give over. I would never do that, honestly. I would never do that. Absolutely no chance. If your parents see you do that, they'll fucking give you a kick round the ear. Because you shouldn't be doing them pretty stuff like that. All these people saying, oh yeah, but she's maybe making money from it by doing it. Fine, but he has a sad life if she's horsing and speed dating. I'm sorry. We'll talk. Let's be real. It's just a lot of rubbish stuff, TikTok now, ain't it? People begging for gifts and Moses and all that nonsense. As well. It's ridiculous, honestly. It's the same on YouTube, though. It is the same on YouTube, to be fair. When they beg for a super chat and all that. Beg for foods, beg for subs, etc. People buy subs on YouTube, which is remarkable. It's just remarkable, really. I don't do that. I could not care less about subs, foods, etc. I appreciate people watching. Of course I do. I appreciate people watching, but you don't see me bedding for subs, foods, nights, etc. I just do it to give my own opinion. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about the foods and comments and all that. I couldn't care less with you, to be honest with you. I'll still do content without it. If I was even if I was on one sub, I'll still be doing content without this. Obviously, it'd be frustrating, but I'll still do it. As you see, faulty bots come out now. But yeah, so far, in terms of my season predictions, I have watered them down. And I will be obviously typing them down in a banner, obviously ahead of my season predictions at the weekend. I just don't see my season predictions changing really. And I think different pre-season testing, different failure as well at times. Second football, ain't it? Liverpool had an awful pre-season in 2019-20 season, and look what happened. They won away with the Premier League title. So it's like with George Russell, for example. I wouldn't really judge George Russell by pre-season testing, to be honest with you. So I'll see what happens, isn't it, in the season, really. As Bottas comes back into the pits. I think Bottas has it. Maybe Bottas might not get the Aston Martin 5 as a new set of tyres come on for Valtteri Bottas. New set of medium tyres. But yeah, I just don't think Valtteri Bottas, for me, might not get Aston Martin 5 actually. I think it's one of them, isn't he? Valtteri Bottas, where he just, yeah, for me, he's had his time at Mercedes, hasn't he? Did well at Mercedes as a number 2 driver. But maybe I don't see Aston Martin taking a punt on him. I would take a punt on him. I mean, like I said before, but I think that's the thing with F1 these days. They're now starting to offer all fantasy lineups now, aren't they? Norris and Piastri, that's a fantasy lineup. It won't work in the long term, in my opinion. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, a fantasy lineup again, won't work in the long term, in my opinion. Which is why at Red Bull you need a Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez for me. Perez who's happy to be number 2. And that's what wins your championships, in my opinion. That's what wins your championships. I don't think. Of course, we did see Hamilton and Rosberg, who were rivals, try for the same team. They obviously won Constructors' Championship. But let's be real, people. Let's be real. They had that car was ridiculous. That car was ridiculous. What Hamilton and Rosberg had. Let's be real. So that's probably an Simpson. Senna and Prost as well. Another Simpson. So yeah, it can happen, but I'm talking about teams who want to challenge the team that is the team to beat, which is Red Bull. It ain't happening. It ain't happening with this with your fancy lineups, in my opinion. Because let's be real, when Mercedes had Hamilton and Rosberg, Ferrari had, was it Vettel and Raikkonen? I think it was. Yeah, it was like Vettel and Raikkonen. I mean, they worked well, didn't they? But again, they didn't really have the car Mercedes had. And Red Bull were nowhere near with it because Vettel obviously joined Ferrari at that time, didn't he? And Red Bull had a bit of a drop off, and Verstappen was only just bursting onto the scene, wasn't he? Bursting onto the scene. And Verstappen obviously started off as a number 2 at Red Bull behind Daniel Ricciardo, then took over as a number 1. While at the moment, you got three teams, Mercedes, George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, a fancy lineup where, yes, we will, both drivers want to be number 1. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, both drivers again want to be number 1 at Ferrari. And McLaren, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, then 2 drivers who are talents who both want to be number 1. I just think it's toxic in my opinion. And it ain't going to help you win a title, in my opinion, having them sort of lineups. Which is why I think Red Bull will dominate for the next 2 seasons, in my opinion. And I think a lot of teams as well, you may see a lot of teams actually wait until 2026 to probably change their lineup, to be honest with you. That's probably what they're waiting for. Yeah, next season, Hamilton joining Ferrari next season, it's going to be transitional, where they'll probably win races, but they won't be winning the title, in my opinion. Depends who Red Bull get as a second driver. But yeah, 28 minutes to go in this pre-season test and Watchalong. My voice is starting to shake your door a bit. But obviously I'll be down at Trent afterwards. I'll be having breakfast afterwards as well. So it won't hurt for another half an hour or so. But yeah, I do appreciate people watching and people leaving the comments in so far. Obviously, I do understand that people are going to be at work as well around this time in the morning. But obviously, I only do content when I can do it, basically. I mean, you have that front through the car, the Red Bull. There's no change at all, is there? There's no change. You can just get that image, the drivers through, you can just get that image and just say, well, it's the same as the last 2 seasons. Nothing different to the bloody car. Bloody hell, horrible weather today over here. Horrible weather. Pretty pissing down. Ought to be a quick watch, are you, after this? It'll have to be a quick one. Especially in the rain. This is the style controller, don't worry. Wasn't anything else. Obviously, I'm watching this on the ITV, so you don't need to worry about any spoilers. I mean, I don't know who would spoil pre-season. Who cares? It's pre-season testing, isn't it? I mean, the top four in this section, you probably expect to be that order, in my opinion. Verstappen, Leclerc, Alonso, Piastri. Yeah, that's predictable, and that will be predictable in the 3 races, to be fair. Obviously, I don't think that would be the top 4 in the races, but in terms of these current standings of this morning's session, that's what you expected, in my opinion. Verstappen to be top, Leclerc second, Alonso third, Piastri fourth, maybe Piastri. You expect Piastri to be above Alonso. But obviously, you don't expect George Russell to be. You don't expect George Russell to be obviously 9th behind Ocon, Albon, Bottas, and Tsunoda. Obviously, you don't expect that when the season starts. Obviously, Russell will be above then. So yeah, some drivers are probably sandbagging. George Russell, for example, being one of them, he's probably sandbagging. So you will see a few drivers sandbagging, to be honest with you, in pre-season. Max Verstappen's probably sandbagging, but he's probably still too quick for everyone. I can't hear what Will Button's saying, but Will Button is in the Mercedes pit lane in front of George Russell. Obviously, George Russell's front wing has now been, front part of the car has now been taken off. And so now doing some work on that. And that's probably the end of George Russell, to be honest with you, in terms of this morning pre-season testing. And he'll probably be back tomorrow for tomorrow morning session. But it's good they're doing it this way. They are splitting the drivers, aren't they? They are splitting the drivers in 10 in the morning session, 10 obviously in the evening, the afternoon session. That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be chaotic having all the drivers out in pretty pre-season testing. All in one pretty session. What's Albon doing here? I don't understand what Albon's doing. He said he went to the end of the pit lane. And now Albon's down to the side of the road. Yeah, you said Albon's out of this morning's session. Something key happened to Albon's car, Williams' car. So as Albon is out now of this morning's session. So that's his morning session's over. That's his morning session over. And the first yellow flag of F1, you could say. Obviously, no need to bring a red flag out. But yeah, as Albon's session now over, as his car pulls to the side of the track, and something's T1 with his car. With 21 minutes yet of this day one morning session pre-season tests and Watchalong. Yeah, something happened, didn't it? Something happened when he crossed the Sheffield yard. That was your fault, so Albon's on the side of the track, George Russell's in the pit lane, Piastri, Alonso and Charles Leclerc are in the pit lane. The only cars that are out on the track is Max Verstappen, Yuki Tsunoda, and Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen. Obviously, as Albon is technically out on track, but that's just his car that's just out on track. And now Will Button's now in front of the Williams pit lane. I mean, Albon's not really getting out the car, to be honest. So I don't know what's going on with you. The car must be fine if he's not there now. Really confusing. Confusing, to be honest, what's happened with Albon. Actually, let me check. Yeah, I can check on the internet, can't I, to see what's happened with Albon. Yeah, so the car's getting pulled back in now to the pit lane. Albon's car now getting pulled back in to the pit lane. So there must have been a problem with the car. Must have been a problem with the car, and the car, they're saying on Twitter, or they're saying on the internet that the car has just clearly stopped. The car just clearly stopped. So let's hope it's not a big problem for Ice Albon going into the new season. And yes, hope it's not a problem going into tomorrow morning of setting. Tomorrow morning setting what's on for Ice Albon. So hopefully they can fix the problem in Ice Albon's car. But that's his morning session over. I think it's the end of George Russell's morning session as well. So 17 minutes to go in this Watchalong and in pre-season testing and in the morning testing as well. So yeah, they're not really out for on, are they? So it started basically 7 PM, so they're out for 4 hours really, basically. Ted Roberts is on the commentary team. Good old Ted. and Max Verstappen. He's on a flying lap, but he hasn't got his rear wing open, so I wouldn't expect it to be a quick lap from Max Verstappen, but who knows? Yeah, the rear wing wasn't open for Max Verstappen, so it's just a normal lap from him. A normal lap from Max Verstappen. It's not really a flying lap, just a normal lap for him. And Will Button is back again in front of the pit lane, waiting for Alex Albon's car to be pulled back in. So the current standings are Max Verstappen first, Charles Leclerc second, Alonso third, Piastri fourth, Tsunoda fifth, Bottas sixth, Alex Albon who's now out the morning session, the morning session Tetson, he's seventh, Ocon eighth, Russell ninth, and Magnussen 10th. And obviously the other drivers will be driving this afternoon. So this afternoon's Tetson. But Piastri has set a personal best first sector. But it's a yellow sector 2 for Oscar Piastri. He opens the rear win and Piastri stays fourth for one. Why did this show you a photo of Max Verstappen? As the shown analysis and here we go. So it's basically the car Red Bull got. The changes they've made to the car, obviously for this season, Red Bull, to do more aggressive. They're showing you the analysis, were you? It's quite aggressive, isn't it? If anything, the changes Red Bull have made to the car, obviously not in terms of the EV, in terms of the parts and everything, it's gonna make them even more unstoppable, in my opinion. I really do think that. George Russell is back out, to be fair. George Russell is back out. While they're talking about the analysis on the Red Bull car. So yeah, there is a few differences from last year's Red Bull car, to be fair. But I'm sorry to say, the parts that they've changed at Red Bull, I'm so sorry, but you're not going to see any competition. They're going to be unstoppable, honestly. But yeah, I mean, no shit, sir. We all expect Red Bull to be dominant. But yeah, they don't be dominant then. I see George Russell who sets a personal best. First setter, George Russell. As now George Russell is now starting to come up to sector 2. And it's a personal best sector 2 as well, George Russell. As he now comes across the line, and George Russell moves up to 6th in the standings. Much more like it from George Russell. As we now got 10 minutes to go of this day 1 morning session. Watchalong. Ice Albon now back in the pit in, speaking to his team. Currently on board with Yuki Tsunoda. Yes, hope he's not unlucky this season. Pardon the pun. So yeah, it can be a bit boring, can't it? This when you're watching this. Obviously, in the way it'd be more exciting, won't it? You'd be more into it. Qualifying, and then be more exciting because who's unqualified where. But this is basically pre-season sessions, just basically like practice sessions, let's be real. Basically like practice session for me. But obviously I only did this watch on just because I'm only doing these watch ons just because do you have a discussion in the comments as well about anything. Just to try and keep me occupied. Charles Leclerc's personal best is 133.247. But yeah, I'll try and get this watch on to 3 hours, and then that's when I'll probably end it. Because we've got 6 minutes of this testing, which will take to 2:56 in terms of my watch on. As Max Verstappen decides to overtake Charles Leclerc. Oh, down a bit of racing here, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Will it be them two fighting for the championship? Who knows? But yeah, they had a little bit of racing there between them two. And that's the thing with Charles Leclerc, though. Charles Leclerc does have the pace to cope with Verstappen. He does have that pace. It's this driving ability, isn't it? Driving ability for me. And Max Verstappen is basically a better race driver than Charles Leclerc. Yes, we will. That's what it comes down to. Qualifying, they're probably on par, Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, in terms of quickest cars in qualifying. Because Charles Leclerc, he's probably going to be quickest in the likes of Azerbaijan, Monaco. He does them tracks, doesn't he? Obviously Monza as well. That's where Charles Leclerc is probably quickest. Them type of tracks, Singapore, that's another one. So I just think them circuits suit Charles Leclerc, don't they, in terms of qualifying. But yeah, Charles Leclerc, overall, he is quick regardless, isn't he, in qualifying. So it's probably going to be Verstappen versus Leclerc in terms of pole position, and then for Bahrain, to qualifying pole in Bahrain. I think that's the sensible bet where yes, we will. Ferrari as well, they do tend to start the season well as well. Ferrari, especially 2022 as well. Normally they do start the season well. Ferrari obviously executed in the 2020 season where they were preparing for the 2022 regulations. So it's probably going to be Red Bull and Ferrari probably up there for the first few races, to be fair. In terms of, Red Bull will be obviously first position, but the closest chances to Red Bull by the first few races will probably be Ferrari, yes, be real. And especially in certain races as well. I don't see Mercedes. Mercedes probably be lucky to win one race this season, yes, be real. Maybe the maybe the Hungarian Grand Prix for Mercedes. Because Lewis Hamilton, he loves Hungary, doesn't he? He does love Hungary. But yeah, that'll be more for the Grand Prix preview. Anyways, Tom Stoward, the race engineer for Oscar Piastri. So yeah, I think we've got 2 minutes yet now, haven't we? Got 2 minutes yet of this morning's session testing, as Yuki Tsunoda and Charles Leclerc decide to have a bit of racing themselves going into the first corner. So yeah, 2 minutes yet of this morning's session Watchalong, and then I can go and rest my voice. As Verstappen comes into the pits, Fernando Alonso goes into the pits as well. And yeah, that's probably going to be it now, where everyone else will probably compete the final laps and then come into the pits, and then that will probably be the end of the morning session. Obviously, I did miss the first hour. Because I was asleep. And I didn't really bother to set an alarm clock, because I do kind of wake up early anyways. on some certain days. So 1 minute to door, then 1 minute to door. Now 40 seconds to door in this morning's session. Chelsea is on his final sort of lap. Obviously, and that is it. There goes the Sheffield Yard for the morning session. They're just waiting for Charles Kerr to get across the Sheffield Yard, across the line, to complete his final lap. I think he'll go into the pits, to be honest. Oh no, he'll go across the line. Charles Kerr. And that is it. And yes, well, I think we still got George Russell and Kevin Magnussen to come across. George Russell now across the line, and I think that's going to be it. And that is the standings for the morning session. So, Max Verstappen in first, Charles Leclerc in second, Fernando Alonso in third, Piastri in fourth, Tsunoda in fifth, Russell in sixth, Bottas seventh, Albon eighth, Ocon ninth, and Kevin Magnussen 10th. And they are the morning session standings. As Verstappen's now back in the pit lane, talking to his team. Obviously, some cars are still out on track. Piastri, some of the cars still out on track, but I think they'll most likely they'll be coming back into the pits now. And yeah, and that is it for my morning session Watchalong. Obviously, I missed the first hour because I was asleep. But we managed to do 3 hours, haven't we? So, in terms of content coming up on my channel, there's going to be a Liverpool versus you and Mass Review tomorrow. But that's going to be very difficult because I'm going to be doing a Watchalong as well tomorrow. So, it'll probably be after the morning session Watchalong where I'll do the review for that game. Obviously, I'll be doing a Chelsea versus Liverpool Carabao Cup final preview as well, the big cup final at the weekend. So that's what's to come. Obviously, no Carabao previews or reviews now until the end of the season. Because Carabao season is done, let's be real. Obviously, I said that months ago, but obviously that defeat at the weekend, that shambles defeat at the weekend to Cambridge, for me, just did it for me. And that's when I wasn't going to do anymore, to be honest, until next season. And basically was a nail in the coffin, wasn't it? So, yeah, no more previews or reviews for Carlo until the end of the season and until next season. Obviously, F1 season predictions will be on Saturday. I'll be doing tomorrow's morning session Watchalong as well. So make sure to join me there. Darts, there'll be a Premier League Darts review coming for this week's Premier League Darts. So yeah, and that's basically it, really. That's basically it. As George Russell is going to do a race start here. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Massive appreciation to everyone that joined in the comments, John Conway and the Dudal Football channel. massive appreciation to you coming in the comments, and a massive appreciation to everyone watching. So that has been my morning steps in day 1, Watchalong. And I'll see you all for day 2 in the morning tomorrow. Take care and have a good rest of the day, everyone.